Think you know the story of Snow White? Think again. Beneath the sugary sweetness of the Disney fairy tale lies a chilling tale. The 1819 grim version of Snow White begins like many fairy tales, with a queen wishing for a daughter. After pricking her finger while sewing, 3 drops of blood land on the snow, and the queen is struck by the beautiful contrast, thinking, "If only I had a child as white as snow, as red as blood, and as black as the wood in this frame." Soon after, the queen is blessed with the birth of a daughter, but the queen dies during childbirth. Within a year, the king remarries a beautiful woman, and though she was beautiful, she was evil. The new queen worries someone will eclipse her beauty. In Disney's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, the evil queen asks the huntsman to take Snow White into the woods to kill her. The queen is a distrustful person and tells the huntsman to bring her Snow White's heart as proof the girl is dead. Of course, the huntsman can't bring himself to kill the beautiful child and allows her to run away into the woods. He then kills a wild boar and takes its heart to the queen. While in other early versions, it's her heart she asks the huntsman to bring back. The gruesome detail Disney left out of the story is that the wicked queen cooks and eats the organs the huntsman brings to her. In the grim version, the evil queen tries to kill Snow White 3 times. In Disney's animated version, the queen only tries to kill Snow White once with a poisoned apple. Time constraints are the most obvious, but they also probably cut out the first 2 attempts on Snow White's life. The queen dresses as a peddler, selling Snow White new laces for her corset. She cinches the laces so tightly that Snow White ceases breathing and falls down dead. The 7 dwarves return home and cut the laces, and Snow White revives. During the second attempt, the queen disguises herself as another peddler and kills Snow White with a poisoned comb. The 7 dwarves remove the comb when they return home, and Snow White wakes up. The third time, the queen disguises herself as an older woman and kills Snow White with a poison apple. She tricks Snow White into eating the apple by making one side tainted and one side safe. In Snow White and the Huntsman, Queen Ravenna uses an illusion to disguise herself as William, someone Snow White trusts from her childhood. In the Disney animated classic, Snow White and her prince meet once before she runs away to the woods. He discovers her singing while working at the palace and approaches her. It's love at first sight, but Snow White is embarrassed that she's dressed in rags and runs away. When the evil queen gives Snow White the poisoned apple, the queen entices Snow White to eat it by telling her it's a wishing apple. "Now take the apple, dear, and make a wish." When Snow White awakens, from her perspective, it's almost as if the wishing apple worked. In the grim version, the prince comes upon Snow White in her glass coffin in the forest, surrounded by the 7 dwarves who are still mourning her. The prince is so taken with Snow White's beauty that he asks the dwarves if he can buy her. In the grim version of the fairy tale, Snow White is only 7 years old when her beauty eclipses the queen's. This is when she's taken to the woods to die at the hands of the huntsman, but is spared and allowed to run away. Although she lives with the 7 dwarves long enough for the evil queen to make 3 attempts on her life, she is no more than 10 years old by the time she's in her glass coffin. In the Disney version of the story, Snow White is a teenager, making her romantic interest in the prince more understandable and less creepy. The grim version of the story makes the prince look like a predator who covets the beauty of a child. And it isn't just the prince that's weird. The queen is so jealous of a literal child's beauty that she's driven to homicidal madness. In the 1819 grim version, the prince is allowed to take Snow White's coffin, but one of his servants accidentally drops it during their journey back to the palace. The impact dislodges the poisoned apple from Snow White's throat. The blow dislodges the poison apple, reviving her, and she agrees to marry the prince. There is no mention of true love's kiss in either of the brothers' grim versions of Snow White. Disney popularized the idea that true love's kiss is a cure for a sleeping curse, and would soon use it again in its animated adaptation of Sleeping Beauty. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more stories.